Well, from a government level, like, it's good to like not reinvent the wheel, but for sure it's like good to be able to like, get a Llama 4 server running on your in your country with access to enough electricity so that, if America decides to cut off the whole rest of the world from its AIs, that you have like, a backup that's 95% of the way there. But I think that like where we're kind of going, it's so there's this concept of something called a paradigm shift. It comes
Mm,
from like science, where say like when people used to think that the Earth was the center of the solar system, they couldn't imagine anything different. But then it turns out the sun is the center of the solar system, and it changes all the math, all the logic of all how things are. And on the pathway to that, usually things go through a period of like crisis, where things that are normally normal suddenly don't work, and there's new normals. Now, I think that what governments need to kind of realize is we're in this change, this paradigm shift, and that it's a time of chaos. We don't know what's going to happen yet. And it's kind of like, like taking a boat, across and going like, we need to get to the other side. And we can see there's a storm along the way. So we can't predict necessarily what we're going to get on the other side, but we know that we got to go through the storm. And what I'd say then is like what people need to be trained on at every level, from the youngest school child to the most senior level of government, is it is a time to not take things for granted, to be having taking critical thinking seriously, um, and to feel empowered to be a pioneer and a leader where it's a flat playing field. It's an era of 0 days. And uh, I think that if anybody has like a vision of the future, it's never been easier to try to go towards it. But don't be dumb. Try to be your smartest right now, highest critical thinking. And I think it's an era where people are serious in being leaders, in doing novel things, then
mm.
it's possible. And at an individual level, this is just about having critical thinking and taking the steps to go learn doing things with AI. Don't be afraid. Don't just read about it, experience it. And from governments, I think, maybe some guys are tired of the entrepreneurship stuff the last couple of years, startups. But maybe they should actually, instead of being disillusioned by the lack of exits and lack of things they've
Mm.
done, I believe that same ecosystem in Africa of like, 10,000, startups of, a couple people, well, that same could be like an incredible opportunity because those teams are well positioned to be making new artificial intelligence breakthroughs. And they're not going to be like rocket science. It's going to be like, like make an AI that like, tells me what my cat is thinking, and that'll be the product. And the entire instructions will be listen to my cat, tell me what it's thinking, $1 billion.